So you all can see me, Minan?
Ma'am, 1 minute. Ma'am, we can see you.
Comments, I think even I can see. I've just sent an hi.
Yeah, ma'am. I think your answers is also fine. We can see you.
Okay, so I'll go live. So I'll start because I can't see myself.
Start your session. That's not.
Yeah, because I can't see myself. So,
Okay, ma'am, but we can see you. Yes, ma'am.
okay. Hi, friends. Good evening. Sorry, we had some technical glitches, so we took 5 minutes to start. But here I am. I hope all of you all are safe at home. So I'm Dr. Neetu Rajdev. I'm consultant cosmetic dermatologist at Skin Hands Clinic Vashi. Skin Hands Clinic is a state of art clinic which is located in the main hub of Vashi. We specialize in different treatments, like we have treatments for pigmentation like chemical peels, laser toning, IPL laser, skin tightening laser. We have different anti-aging treatments like Botox, filler, threads, non-surgical facelift, non-surgical lasers. We also specialize in different hair treatments, hair regrowing treatments like laser treatment for hair, mesotherapy, derma roller, PRP, and the latest Regenera Activa on board. We also specialize in different treatment of different dermatological treatments like acne, hair fall, nail issues, any hair issues, eczema, psoriasis, and many more. So today my topic is pigmentation. Before taking your questions, I definitely would like to discuss few things about pigmentation. What is pigmentation? What are different types of pigmentation? What are the reasons why people have pigmentation, and what care can you take once you develop this pigmentation? Pigmentation is basically darkening of your skin. Any darkening of skin, it could be diffuse darkening, it could be patchy darkening, it's called pigmentation or hyperpigmentation. There are different types of pigmentation which we see. The first and the foremost type of pigmentation is melasma. Melasma in normal language is called chai, which people develop during pregnancy or after childbirth. People have these darker patches on the cheeks, on the nose, sometimes on the forehead also. This, as I said, develops during pregnancy or after childbirth, so it has hormonal etiology. But there are certain aggravating factors for melasma, like pregnancy, when people are on different oral contraceptive pills. Even this can lead to increase in pigmentation in melasma. The next most common is post inflammatory hyperpigmentation. Our Indian skin has a tendency to heal with pigmentation. Whatever injury or trauma our body faces or our skin has, it heals with pigmentation because our Indian skin has a lot of melanin in it. That's why we Indians darken also very fast and we heal with pigmentation also. The second most common cause of pigmentation is PIH, which is called post inflammatory hyperpigmentation. We see this most commonly after acne eruptions, any injury on the any accident scar, any trauma heals with pigmentation. Post chickenpox scars heal with pigmentation. Any traumatic scars heal with pigmentation. Your fungal infection, psoriasis, anything they heal with pigmentation. The third common cause of pigmentation is basically tanning. People say, "Oh, doctor, I exposed myself, now my skin is tan." So, tan is nothing but darkening of your skin. So, it could be face tanning, body tanning. It's very commonly seen again in our Indian scenario. The other common causes are freckles. Freckles is like melasma only, but people have small dotted pigmentation on the face. This could be hereditary. These are usually called sunspots. They're aggravated by sun exposure also. uh, Again, the other causes of pigmentation are basically perioral pigmentation. If you see young girls, they have this darkening of the pigmentation around the perioral area. This is very commonly associated with hormonal imbalance. The most common reason for hormonal imbalance is PCOD, polycystic ovarian disease. The moment you start losing weight, you exercise, you see this skin also lightens automatically, and of course we have to do a lot of treatments for that. Some people who are exposed to sun a lot, they get pigmentation on their forehead. They get pigmentation on their malar area also. There are others who complain of darkening of skin around the neck, their underarm darkening, inner thigh darkening. This is called as acanthotic pigmentation. This is actually a pseudo-pigmentation and not a true pigmentation. This is also associated with hormonal imbalance. Again, it's commonly associated when people are obese or when they have high insulin resistance. So these are few types of pigmentation which we commonly see in our clinical practice. So what are the reasons why people complain of pigmentation? Why do they get pigmentation? Well, there are a lot of causes, but the most important etiological factor in pigmentation is hormonal. Lot of hormonal imbalance can lead to different pigmentation, which are explained like melasma, perioral pigmentation. Hormonal imbalance can lead to acne, which in turn can heal with pigmentation. The second most common reason is sun exposure. Some people, they're very sensitive. Even 5 minutes of sun exposure will basically make their skin dark. So sun is definitely the aggravating factor, and sometimes it could be the initiating factor for the pigmentation. The others are drugs. Many drugs, sometimes the hypertensive drugs, the oral contraceptive drugs, sometimes the antibiotics. This make your skin very sensitive and can make you more prone for different kind of pigmentation. So whenever you have any kind of pigmentation, of course, rule out what are the reasons why you're getting pigmentation and accordingly get yourself treated. So what special care should we take when one has pigmentation? As I said, sun exposure is the one of the leading causes of pigmentation. The most and important foremost care which you will take is use of a sunscreen. Very, very important. One has to use sunscreen. So how can you select an ideal sunscreen for yourself? So when you're selecting a sunscreen, you should look for two, three things. One is SPF. SPF is sun protection factor. Second is PA, which is protection against UVA light. So whenever you're buying a sunscreen, look for SPF and look for PA factor. So what is SPF? SPF is basically a sun protection factor. This indicates your protection against UVB. We all know that our UV rays have different kinds of UV rays like UVA, UVB and UVC. UVC doesn't reach us because of the ozone layer, but our skin reacts to UVA and UVB. UVB is responsible for your burns, severe burns, and UVA is responsible for your wrinkles, delayed signs of sun rays like wrinkles, aging, photoaging skin, sunspots. These are all because of UVA. So it's very important when you're using your sunscreen should have UVA and UVB protection factor. Nowadays, there are a lot of buzz about high intensity visible light. Nowadays, we are indoors. We use a lot of electronical gadgets. We use our mobile, our laptops, our houses are, we have LED lights in our house. All these things will emit the visible light. This visible light also has a very bad impact on our skin. They are responsible for your acne, pigmentation, aging, and wrinkles. Also, infrared radiation also plays a very important role, especially in case of housewives when they cook and all. So there's a lot of infrared radiation which comes from this cooking hot ovens and cooking gas and all. So this also can damage your skin. So when you're selecting your sunscreen, don't apart from apart from SPF and PA, you should also look for your sunscreen should also mention HEV, which is high intensity visible light. It should have protection also for this. So while selecting a sunscreen, you should select a broad spectrum sunscreen. Your sunscreen should have an SPF of 30 or above. PA plus should be 3 plus. 3 plus is adequate for our Indian skin. It should also mention HEV, which is high intense visible light. So your sunscreen should be protecting you against all these things. So ideal sunscreen should have all these factors. Your sunscreen, nowadays a lot of newer molecules in the market which are available. So they are not very greasy. They are matte finish. They are very light in texture. So use your sunscreen indoors. Yes, you have to use your sunscreen indoors also. Reapply them if you're exposed for more than 3 to 4 hours. So reapply your sunscreen after 3 or 4 hours. There's a typical way of applying a sunscreen. You can take around 1 teaspoon of sunscreen or around 50 paisa coin sunscreen. Just make different spots and massage in such a way so that your sunscreen penetrates in the skin, it's not visible. If you still feel it's oily, you can dab it with your compact or your foundation and any of your baby powders. So sunscreen should be applied every day, even if you're indoors. Reapply after 3 to 4 hours. Do not forget to use your sunscreen 365 days in a year. So even if it's raining, it's cloudy, it's winter, all seasons you have to use a sunscreen. So sunscreen is the main treatment or main preventive treatment for your pigmentation. Some people feel that, oh, if I'm using a sunscreen, I'll become fair or my pigmentation will disappear. No, sunscreen is only for protection. It will improve, it will basically prevent your skin from going more dark, but you have to use other skin lightening creams. So sunscreens are only used for protection and not as a treatment. The second important thing in your skincare regime should include a good cleansers. So when you're selecting your cleansers for your pigmented skin, your cleanser should contain uh, ingredients like glycolic acid, vitamin C, mandelic acid. They are good ingredients, so they really help you to give you a good, fresh, radiant effect post once you wash your face. Wash your face at least 2 times in a day. Do not use scrubs or any astringent toners for your skin because they can further darken your skin. Use milder cleansers. Do not frequently scrub your skin very often because, again, frequent scrubbing and friction can aggravate the pigmentation. Third is, if you have pigmentation, you can use a good night creams. Your night creams should include different ingredients like glycolic acid, lactic acid, retinol in a very smaller proportion, mandelic acid. You can use your vitamin C hyaluronic acid in the morning with your sunscreen. Night creams you can use with these ingredients. A good face wash will basically help to keep your pigmentation under control. But in spite of this, if you feel your pigmentation doesn't bust or it still increases, then definitely you should go and visit your nearest dermatologist because we have a lot of treatment options available for pigmentation. If you have melasma, if you have any patchy pigmentation, different treatments like microdermabrasion, different chemical peels like glycolic peels, retinol peels, cosmelan peels, high-end peels are available, which definitely will help to improve to control your pigmentation. There are different lasers like IPL lasers, laser toning, like long pulse Q switch lasers are available, which help to improve or to control your pigmentation. Lot of medifacials are available. Sometimes we do PRP. PRP is newest kid on the block, which we do. We take your own blood. Your blood has lot of growth factors. Your platelet specifically has lot of growth factors. So we separate your RBCs and platelets. So your platelets, which have lot of growth factors, are injected into your skin. So these basically activated growth factors, they help, they give you a rejuvenated appearance. They help to control your pigmentation also. So if you have any pigment related issues, you should go and visit your dermatologist, as if your problem becomes more chronic, it will be more difficult to treat the problem. Long standing pigmented issues take a long time to respond also. So earlier you take the treatment, better are the results. Again, pigmentation treatment is a very long term treatment. So you have to have a lot of patience. It's not that today if you've started with your treatment and tomorrow you will have the results. No, it takes at least 3 to 6 months for the face or for the skin to show some improvement, because the pigmentation could be superficial, could be deep. The superficial pigmented lesions respond better and faster, but the deeper lesions, the deeper pigmented issues take long time to respond. So you will have to have a lot of patience. Also, a lot of these people, a lot of these patients who have pigmented issues, they have a tendency to use OTC products which have steroids. This long term steroid use like betnovate, clobetasol, chinovate, mometazone, these are very harmful in the long run. In fact, they can make your skin more sensitive. They can increase the facial hair on your face. Your skin will be sensitive to other external stimulus also, so it will react more frequently. So you have to be cautious while using these products. Do not buy any OTC products from your nearest chemist, or if your friend advises, oh, this is a fairness cream, I was really happy, should I use this? No. These products, these OTC products contain steroids and they could be harmful to you. So avoid any OTC brands, any OTC products, because this can give you long-term problem. We have seen where the skin, basically if you use these products for longer time, this can lead to premature aging of skin. It will give you wrinkled appearance on your face. So be careful while using these products on your skin. I can see some comments. Hi, there are so many people who've logged in. Yes, good evening everyone. Good evening Jyoti, good evening Vandana. Yes, there are a few questions. I'll answer these questions one by one. So, Vandana is asking me, should we use sunscreen when we are indoors? As I already mentioned, Vandana, yes, you should use your sunscreens even if you're indoors, because though we are indoors, lot of UVA and UVB rays can pass through the windows also, so this can be harmful. Plus, when we are indoors, we tend to hook up to our laptops, mobiles, TV screens, LED lights. So these have lot of this. These are high intensity blue visible light. These are more harmful. Hence, even if you're indoors, you still have to use your sunscreen. Vikas is asking, ma'am, I have melasma. Do I need special sunscreen? Yes, because when you have melasma, as I said, melasma is multifactorial problem. There are a lot of factors which are involved in melasma, like sun exposure can aggravate. Sometimes the skin becomes very sensitive, and when the skin is sensitive, definitely it darkens more. So you have to use sunscreens meant for sensitive skin people. Use a broad spectrum sunscreen. Your sunscreen should contain SPF of at least 30 or 40 plus. Sunscreen should have PA triple plus, and your sunscreen should also give you protection against IR, which is infrared radiation, and HEV, which is high intensity visible light. Pritika is asking, ma'am, I'm using sunscreen regularly, but my skin is still dull. Yes, Pritika, as I said, sunscreen is just to protect you. There are a lot of reasons for your dull skin. It could be your diet, which is not good. Sometimes, if you do not have a healthy lifestyle, like if you're not exercising, if you do not have a good balanced diet, and if you have any other issues, they can also lead to dullness of the skin. Sunscreen alone is not sufficient to deal with the dullness. Sunscreen will help you to keep your skin hydrated. It will prevent you from the UV damage, but for your dullness, you'll have to use a good night cream. You'll have to use a good cleanser. You should have a good healthy lifestyle. You should exercise, drink lots of water. Your skin hydration is very important. So only sunscreen is not sufficient to treat your dullness of the skin. Which sunscreen is good? There are different brands available in the market, but nowadays, as I said, there are very good newer molecules available with good new technologies available, which are good for Indian skin. Like Heliocare is one of the brand. They are really good. They're based on Fern Block technology, which is again good. It is good for sensitive skin patients. Even acne prone patients can tolerate this sunscreen very well. So again, the other different brands are Bioderma, Sebamed, and Glenmark La Shield. So these are good brands of sunscreens which are available. Hi Meenal, should we apply moisturizer before sunscreen? Is it compulsory? Vanna, if you have a dry skin, yes, you should apply a moisturizer. But if you have a oily skin, or if you have a normal skin, then you don't need an extra moisturizer. But yes, if you have a dry skin, use a good moisturizer first, and then top up it with your sunscreen. Hi Ashish. Ashish is asking, ma'am, I want to know about that there is some puffiness and pigmented area under eyes. Somebody suggested me to go with fillers. It's too costly. Can you suggest me the suitable treatment? Yes, Ashish. See, again, dark circle is a type of pigmentation. There are a lot of reasons for dark circles. Dark circles could be because of, first is genetic. Second is tired eyes. If you're continuously working on your laptop, on your mobiles, definitely that will give you tired eyes, and that can also be visible as dark circles. Third is if you have a tendency for recurrent cough cold or allergic tendency or recurrent cough cold, that can also give you lines and darkness around the eyes. The fourth is the sunken eyes. Some people they have this groove which is called as tear trough. The groove which starts from your near the eye and ends till your perinasal area. That's called a tear trough. So some people who have tear trough, because of the shadow, the dark circles aggravate. For such patients who have sunken eyes, fillers are advisable. If you have tear trough, the skin lightening creams and the other creams may not work that well, because fillers basically fill the area. They cover up that depression which you have under the eye, which basically is aggravating your darkness. And then if you use skin lightening creams, definitely it will give you better results. I agree it's costly, Ashish, but the result stays for 1 year. And there are some cheaper options also, of fillers also available. You'll have to ask your doctor for the cheaper options. But when you combine different treatments, they definitely give you a better result. So for dark circles, sometimes we use fillers, we use peels around the eye, we use hyaluronic acid products, we use skin lightening creams around the eye. This gives very good results. So it's a multi-targeted approach to treat a particular area. Hi Shekhar, good evening. uh, if Samrat is asking me, if someone is having, sorry, I can't, if someone is having black pigments on his body parts, how to get rid of it? Yes, the body pigmentation is a very tough to treat pigmentation because the skin is very thick. So there are different creams available, like glycolic acid 12%, 6%. There's retinol cream available, so you can use. There are different combination creams like Kojic, Arbutin. You can combine them and use them. Also for body pigmentation, we use different peels. Like we use Jessner's peels, we use TCA peels. So they definitely help better than only night creams. Body pigmentation is, yes, difficult to treat. It takes a lot of time to improve. But peels and laser toning have excellent results for body pigmentation. Hi Kavita, what to do if forehead is turning blackish? There are a lot of reasons for forehead becoming dark. Forehead darkening is seen if you have a lot of sun exposure. Forehead darkening is seen sometimes, as I said, if there's an acanthotic pigmentation, where if you're obese, your this part, the side logs, underarms, neck, and inner thighs turn dark. That's a difficult to treat. First, lifestyle modification is very important. We advise skin lightening creams, and we do different treatments like microdermabrasion, different stronger chemical peels like retinol peels, TCA peels, laser toning, sometimes derma roller helps to treat this stubborn forehead pigmentation. Sometimes this forehead pigmentation is also seen because of the friction, especially when people do namaz and all. Because of the repeated friction, also sometimes the area becomes dark, but the treatment remains the same. Sometimes some people who have lot of forehead hollowing, when you start aging, this part becomes more prominent. So when your this part starts bulging, your other forehead looks sunken. So this is sometimes this takes a lot of time because we have to reduce the bulkiness of this muscle. So we do botox. So this will basically flatten your forehead bossing. The forehead becomes even and the pigmentation automatically improves. So actually we have to see you in person to see what is the reason for forehead turning dark. And sometimes even your this hair colors, different hair color dyes, they also can give you different types of pigmentation, especially around the forehead, your side logs, and your neck areas. This can also turn dark because of different hair colors. Aniket, yes, ma'am, my hands have become darker because of bike ride. I'm using gloves now. However, it has not completely lightened. Hi, Aniket. Yes, the darkening of hands, as I said, we Indians have a tendency to tan and pigment fast. If you are, we have certain threshold. If you cross this threshold of sun exposure, definitely even 2 minutes of sun exposure can give you skin darkening. It's very important to use a sunscreen. Alone sunscreens may not be sufficient. You have to use your sun protection coat, You have to use your gloves to cover that thing. Lightning will take time because the skin of the hand is takes time to respond. We do different chemical peels, different combination of treat a combination of different treatments like peels, skin lightening creams will give you better results. But yes, you have to be patient. It takes time for the body pigmentation to improve. Kanchan, hi Kanchan. What are the treatment for freckles and brown spots? Brown spots. Freckles and brown spots are genetic. Sun exposure can be the aggravating factor for it. And definitely sometimes even the if hormonal imbalance can also aggravate the freckles and brown spots. Freckles and brown spots have a very temporary treatment. We do different cautery, radio frequency cautery. We do different peels, like we do ferulic peels and retinol peels. They help, but freckles are notorious to recur. So the treatment is long term. Use of sunscreen is compulsory. Skin lightening creams like Mandelic Glycolic can give you temporary relief, but yes, freckles will recur. There is no permanent cure for freckles. We can help you to lighten it. With treatment, the size of freckles will become small, but they'll disappear, but they have a tendency to recur again and again. But you have to use sunscreen. Sunscreen is very important if you have freckles, melasma, brown spots. Hi Prakash, which cream is best for under eye pigmentation? As I said, Prakash, under eye pigmentation is multifactorial. Depending on the cause for your pigmentation, we'll have to treat it. But you can use a cream which contains vitamin K or vitamin C. You can use creams with hyaluronic acid and kojic. They will give you some improvement. But for under eye pigmentation, it is very important to treat the cause for pigmentation. Shailesh is asking, whenever I go out in the sun, my son gets tan. So how to protect? My skin gets tan. I'm guessing. Yeah, my skin gets tan. So how to protect? So yes, Shailesh, as I've already explained, use of sunscreen is very important. You can use sun protective cover. You can use a top brim hat to prevent the sun exposure. But I will tell you one thing: some people feel that if they're using higher SPF sunscreen, their sunscreen will give them 100% coverage. No, your sunscreen with SPF 30 will give you protection against 93% of sun exposure. Whereas if you increase the SPF to 50, the sun protection will increase only up to 95 or 96. So it's not that if you're using a SPF of 30 and if you double it, your sun protection will give you 100%. No. Not a single sunscreen available can give you 100% protection. Definitely, yes, if you increase the SPF, the protection will increase only by 1 or 2 percentage. But use of sunscreen in a proper direction, in a proper manner is very important. But the best of best sunscreen will give you protection only up to 98%. So apart from sunscreen, you have to cover your face. You can use a scarf. You can use your glares. You can use your top beam hat. You can use your sun coat also to protect it. Hi Manisha. I have forehead pigmentation on forehead due to hair color. Please advise skin friendly hair color. See, basically, when you're selecting for hair color, you have to select PPD free and paraben free hair colors. You can do a test patch before doing hair color. Nowadays, a lot of these good companies have this colors for sensitive skin. Sometimes people do react to this colors also. Nowadays, there are a lot of vegetable colors available in the market, called from different companies like Vegetal and Cutie Color and Optima. So they are skin friendly hair colors. You can use them, but all the colors you have to do a patch test behind the ear half an hour before every application. And when you're applying your hair color, you keep it for only for 15-20 minutes. Wash your hair immediately. You can use moisturizing creams to protect your other parts so that they should not get irritated with that. Hi Manish, what is a treatment for eye darkness? Manish, I've already answered that treatment. Eye darkness, there are a lot of reasons. We have to treat the underlying cause for the darkness of the eyes. But different eye creams, different creams containing vitamin K, vitamin C, hyaluronic acid, Arbutin can be used around the eye, but the treatment of the underlying cause is very important for the treatment of eye darkness. Hi Samrat. Samrat is asking me, my face skin becomes very light. It turned red mostly due to sun exposure. And even in gym, when sweat comes and I rub my face, it causes acne problem because I have used Betnovate. Yes, Samrat, as I said, Betnovate is a very strong steroid. You should not use this steroid containing creams on your face. This can harm your skin in long run. So definitely you will have to go to a dermatologist. We have to taper you from the Betnovate. Betnovate makes your skin very sensitive. Skin can become the moment you start touching the skin, it will start burning because it becomes extremely thin. It becomes atrophied. The layers of skin get thin out. That's why skin becomes very sensitive. Overuse of steroid creams can give you acne eruptions and also facial hair growth. So when you're using creams which have betnovate like ingredients, you have to immediately stop it. Visit your dermatologist because we have to taper your creams and put you on non-steroidal creams so that your skin improves. It takes a lot of time and will take a lot of patience also. So Samrat, I would advise you to go and visit your dermatologist for the same and do not treat your this issue at home. Hi Ritesh, what to use for lip pigmentation? Very good question, Ritesh. Nowadays we see a lot of people complaining of lip pigmentation. Again, there are different reasons for lip pigmentation. Sometimes when people smoke, the lips start become dark. Use of cosmetics. If you use lipsticks from some cheaper brands, they can also give irritation on the lips and lips can become dry. Sometimes if you use some toothpaste which have this herbal products, they can also give you darkening of the lips and darkening of the area around the lip. The fourth is sun exposure. The cheilitis. Sun exposure basically will lead to dryness of the lips, which is called cheilitis. This further can lead to lip darkness. So for lip darkness treatment, we have to treat the underlying cause. If there's cheilitis or if there's a lot of dryness of the lips, then we have to give you some oral antioxidants. We have to give you some mild steroid creams. You can use lip moisturizers. You can use lip balms with SPF 15 or 20. They will help you temporarily to improve the dryness. Sometimes I tell my patients to use the ghar ka ghee also. It is really good. It's very good hydrating. It hydrates your lips very well. Or you can use that Vaseline lip balm 3 to 4 times in a day. But if the problem is severe, you will have to go and visit your doctor. Ritesh. Uh, yes, Sid. Can we use clobetasol in scalp eczema while lactation period? Sid, if some in lactation period, definitely all creams will have to be creams and lotions will have to be used with caution. I would advise you to consult the dermatologist for the same because these lotions will have to be used very cautiously during pregnancy and during your lactation period. Do not overuse these creams during this period because the absorption could lead to some harmful side effects also. So always consult your doctors before using lotions, cream which contains ingredients like clobetasol because they are very strong steroids. Um, how to take care of melasma only? Laser is the option, madam, for the same or any other treatments are present? No, melasma has lot of options. It depends on your severity of melasma. Some mild melasma or grade 1 melasma, which is limited only to your cheeks, oral antioxidants like vitamin C, glutathione, astaxanthin, tomato crystal can be used. Topical creams like vitamin C, kojic arbutin combination, glycolic acid can be used. But if melasma is very dark, we'll have to first stabilize the melasma. You can use different lasers like IPL, long pulse NDAC laser can be used. We can use different chemical peels like retinol peels, yellow peels, blue peels, cosmelan peels. They have been used with very good results. But again, Shailesh, melasma has a tendency to recur. Maintenance is very important for all kind of pigmentation, including melasma. Again, melasma is notorious to recur. recur. So hence use of sunscreen, a good skin lightening cream, good antioxidant, a healthy lifestyle, exercise is very important apart from different procedural management. But melasma needs a long term maintenance. Good evening, Kumar. Doctor, for how long minoxidil can be used for androgenetic alopecia? Sid, minoxidil should be used as long as you want your hair on your scalp. Minoxidil is not something which you use for 6 months and stop. You will have to use minoxidil till you want hair on your scalp. Hi Ritu, how can we decrease darker skin on neck? Uh, yes, Ritu, a very good question. Darker skin on neck nowadays we commonly see because of our unhealthy lifestyle. Skin darkening on neck is called acanthotic pigmentation. It is because of increased weight. It is because of insulin resistance. It is because if you have a family history of diabetes, all this thing actually skin darkening on the neck is not a true pigmentation. We call it as a pseudo pigmentation. It is not a pigmentation per se, but high insulin levels in your body basically deposit this pigment in the skin. So for this, lifestyle modification is very 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 important. Healthy balanced diet is very important. Exercise is very important. The moment you start losing weight, Ritu, automatically the pigmentation on the neck also starts improving. Hence, it's very important to exercise. Get your fasting insulin levels tested. If your insulin levels are on the higher side, do consult your endocrinologist or your dermatologist. Once you're on this treatment, then definitely we can give you a lot of creams and we do different treatments which help in the faster clearing of this pseudo-pigmentation. But for neck darkening, lifestyle modification is the most important thing. Vandana, yes, does multivitamins help pigmentation? Yes, Vandana, different antioxidants like vitamin C, glutathione, astaxanthin can help for pigmentation. Sometimes B12 deficiency also leads to increased pigmentation, especially on your knuckles, on your elbows, darkening of your tongue, darkening of your lips. So sometimes B12 deficiency can lead to darkening of this area. So in this cases, if you take B12 tablets, it helps to reduce your pigmentation. But yes, my favorite is vitamin C, astaxanthin, glutathione. I really like them. But as I said, pigmentation treatment is a long-term treatment. Maintenance is a must. Hi Ansam. Ma'am, my skin becomes very itchy after taking bath. Hansa, skin becoming itchy after bath, there could be a lot of reasons. First of all, if you have a dry skin and if you're using harsh products for your bath, definitely that will make your skin more dry. The moment your skin becomes more dry, it will start itching. So use good pH balance cleansers for your bath. Immediately after bath, use a good moisturizer so that your skin will be hydrated, and once your skin is hydrated the itching automatically reduces. Have I missed any questions? Let me just check. Yes, Hansa, I think I've answered your question. Yeah, Aniket, facial and bleach from salon are safe. Aniket, facial and bleach depends. Definitely, they are safe if you do it in a proper standard salons. Bleaching you should not do very often. Sometimes bleach itself can lead to darkening of the skin. If you have a sensitive skin and if you try to bleach your skin, it will make your skin more sensitive. And the moment your skin becomes more sensitive, it has a tendency to become dark. So don't often bleaching should not be done very often. But yes, facials are important provided you do facials at a good standard salon or you do your facials with your dermatologist who knows your skin better. Because facials, we use different products in facials, they basically hydrate your skin. See, after a certain age now your skin needs a lot of pampering. So facials are very good to pamper your skin. So but it depends what products you're using, how you're using. If good products, if standard products are used, and if it's done in a proper manner, Definitely facials are very good because they give you good hydration, they give you good rejuvenation for your skin because it involves a lot of massage, which is very important. It increases the blood circulation and definitely can give you a very good radiant look. So every 6 to 8 weeks, one should do facials, but provided at a good standard salon or with your dermatologist. Uh, yes, Hansa is asking, ma'am, I have eczema on scalp. It becomes very itchy sometimes, and when I scratch, I get blood since I have long and thick hair. Solution does not reach scalp. Hansa, eczema on scalp could be again because of many reasons. The most common reason of eczema on the scalp is your dry scalp, which could be because of your hard products which you're using to wash. Second, sometimes even seborrheic dermatitis. Like seborrheic dermatitis is basically a condition which mimics like dandruff, but here there's a growth of pea oil, which gives a lot of irritation and itching in the scalp, which becomes very itchy and yes can give you some blood and all. Hansa, your long and thick hair should not give you the difficulty in applying solution. Just take your solutions, whatever you're using, massage it in your scalp properly. But you will need some mild steroid based lotions for your eczema or seborrheic dermatitis on the scalp. So I would advise you to visit your dermatologist. If you have only mild dandruff, which sometimes aggravates and can give you itchy condition, use a good shampoo which contains either zinc parathion or ketoconazole. Use it for 2 3 times in a week and that should sort your problem. But if problem persists, do visit your nearby dermatologist. Samrat is asking, I'm using Tacrose ointment, Aziderm cream, and Flutivit cream to reduce the redness of face and to lighten the effects of Betnovet. Stopped after some time. See, Samrat, again, Flutivit is a mild steroid. So you have to be under a dermatologist supervision because Flutivit also you cannot use for very long time. Your dermatologist will taper your creams accordingly. Tacrose and Aziderm are good option, but there are a lot of other options also available. You can use a good moisturizer, you can use a good sunscreen, use a good mild cleanser, and also you can do different treatments like IPL and mesotherapy, which will basically help to improve your skin sensitivity. What are the treatment for brightening and whitening the skin, particularly on face? Shailesh, there are a lot of treatments available. See, I do not believe a lot in brightening and whitening of skin. I tell my patients that will give you a healthy looking skin. If you have patchy pigmentation, will help to improve your patchiness, will give you a uniform tone on the skin, will help you to give you a good glow in your own complexion. I do not promise lightening or brightening to my patients. But yes, if you have uneven tone, will help you to give you a uniform tone. So different treatments available to give you uniform tone, to give you a good glow on the face. You can use different antioxidants. As I said, antioxidants like vitamin C, glutathione, astaxanthin. You can use beta carotenoids as an antioxidants to give you good glow. You can use good skin lightening cream which contains vitamin C, hyaluronic acid, kojic, arbutin, and retinoid combination creams. Different treatments like different medications will help you. Laser toning gives very good results. Carbon peel gives you very good results. They help to tighten your pores and give you a very good glow. Different chemical peels like retinol peels, yellow peels, they also give you a very good glow on the face and will help to improve your patchy pigmentation. Different TCA peels can give you good results. PRP is a very good treatment to give you a rejuvenated appearance. All these things will help you to give you a radiant look, a rejuvenated appearance, and will help to give you a good glow in your own complexion. Yes, Ashish, my sister's faced melasma from last 2 3 years. She consulted with so many doctors, but no recovery after chemical peels. Also, what she will do? First thing, Ashish, as I said, melasma patients need to have a lot of patience. Melasma takes long time to improve. It takes at least 6 to 8 months to see the results. So patience is very important. I don't know what treatments your sister has used. Good sunscreen is very important. She can use a vitamin C with the sunscreen. She can use different antioxidants as advised, like vitamin C. Glutathione is very good for melasma. Tomato crystal is also very good, though it's expensive, but I've seen good results with the tomato crystal. She can use a good lightening cream which contains vitamin C, kojic, arbutin, glycolic acid as a night creams. Chemicals peel. Chemical peels have a limited role. All melasma will not respond to chemical peels. Laser toning is a good option, but the number of sittings required are at least 6 to 10. After 10 sittings, I give a break and we have to repeat the treatments. As I said, maintenance is very important for patients with melasma. You have to have maintenance treatment for all kinds of pigmentation, especially melasma, because it's a long term treatment. And melasma has a tendency to recur, hence, you have to use your sunscreen 365 days in a year. Even if you're indoors in all seasons, you have to use your sunscreen. At what age do you recommend to start getting facials done? See, by 18 to 25, you can do your normal cleanups. Facials you can do after 24, 25. Actually, there's no age for doing a facials. If you feel there's a need of facials, you can do facials. But ideally, after 25, I advise my patients to do facials. Yes, Kanchan, my eyes get itchy. What are the reason behind it? For the itchy eyes, there are a lot of reasons. It could be your sometimes the dandruff also gives you itchy eyes. So if you see any flakes on your eyes, that could be because of your dandruff. So you have to get your dandruff treated. If you see the flakes on the eyes, you can use this Johnson's Baby shampoo. Just wash, use the Johnson's Baby shampoo to clean your eye, and you can use Neosporin eye ointment. It also helps. Uh, are vitamin C face washes good for sensitive skin? Yes, vitamin C face washes are really good, but face washes with vitamin C, the contact time is only 1 or 2 minutes, so definitely you can't expect much. But a face wash or facial cleansers with vitamin C, with mandelic acid, with glycolic acid, they are definitely better. They give you a fresh feeling once you wash your face. They remove the oiliness, dirt which you have on your face, so it gives you a fresh look. Yes, vitamin C face washes are good. So I've almost answered all the questions here. Uh, I hope I've not missed any questions. So yeah, there's a question. How can I make my sunscreen more effective? As I said, when you're using your sunscreen, use a good sunscreen with a broad spectrum. Your sunscreen should have a good SPF, a good PA factor. If you have a dry skin, you can use a moisturizer with your sunscreen. First, the layer of moisturizer, and then your sunscreen. If you have a normal skin, or if you have a patchy pigmentation, you can use different creams like vitamin C, hyaluronic acid, or ferulic acid before your sunscreen. So definitely this will help to make your sunscreen more effective, because vitamin C is good antioxidant. So if you use vitamin C with your sunscreen, it will have a double protection. So in this way, by adding creams with different ingredients like vitamin C, hyaluronic acid, and ferulic acid, you can make your sunscreen more effective. Uh, yes, there's a question. How often should you apply the sunscreen, and how many minutes before you leave your house you have to apply your sunscreen? See, sunscreen, I always tell my patients, first thing when you get up in the morning, wash your face, brush your teeth, and apply sunscreen. After your bath, immediately reapply your sunscreen. Every 3 hourly or 3 to 4 hours, it's important that you reapply your sunscreen. Some people feel if they're in the kitchen, they should not use a sunscreen. No, in fact, if you use a sunscreen when you're standing in front of your stove or your gas, it's important to use your sunscreen, because that will limit the damage caused by the infrared radiation and caused by the damage by the heat which comes from there. So it is very important to use a sunscreen even if you're indoors in your before you go to your kitchens and all. It's very important. My mother has dry and frizzy hair. Please suggest any tablets or shampoo. Ritesh, there are a lot of reasons for dry and frizzy hair. Sometimes it's not only external but internal reasons also. I always tell my patients, if If your diet is deficient in protein, or if you do not have a balanced diet, that can also lead to dry and frizzy hair. So have a good balanced diet. Your diet should include 3 to 4 fruits in a day, 2 to 3 cups of milk, 2 to 3 bowls of veggies, 2 bowls of salad. And if you're non-vegetarian, you should have eggs at least 2 or 3 in a day. And if you're chicken or a fish eater, you can replace that with your milk. This is very important. Still, if you have frizzy hair, increase the protein intake in your diet. Use protein supplements additionally, which will definitely help. Look for the products which you're using to wash your hair. Sometimes if your products are too dry, they will definitely give you more dry hair. Use product meant for normal or dry hair. Use sulfate free products to wash your hair. Use a good conditioner. Nowadays you get this lot of hair serums and hair sprays which have SPF also, because sun also can lead to dryness and frizziness of the hair. So use these hair sprays and serums which have SPF in them. They will also prevent the dryness. Which face wash or cream would you recommend for blackness on the forehead? Face wash with vitamin C, mandelic acid, glycolic acid can be used. Cream, you can use creams with kojic arbutin. You can use creams with retinol 0.025 on alternate days on spot application for your forehead pigmentation. Which SPF sunscreen should we apply for our children? Very good question, Kanchan. Yes, for children you should have, like for kids who are less than 10 years, I advise my patients to use a physical block sunscreen. Physical block sunscreen with sunscreens which have zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. They are very safe in children. So there are two different types of sunscreen. One is the chemical sunscreen, one is the physical sunscreen, or which we call as a sunblock. Chemical sunscreens, when you use, so they basically get absorbed in your skin. They absorb your UV rays and convert them into less damaging rays, and that's how they prevent your damage. In physical blockers or sunblock, what they do, they basically reflect your lights. If you see these cricketers and all the people who play sports, they apply that white patch on the nose. It is nothing but a physical sunscreen. Nowadays you get very good this micronized zinc oxide and titanium dioxide, because they do not leave any white residue on your face. So okay, for children, ideally these are very safe because these are not absorbed in the skin. So for kids, you can use these physical blockers, physical sunscreen like with zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. Any other questions which I have missed? Let me just check. Yes, I think I've covered all the questions. So, before I end this session, I would request all of y'all to stay safe, to stay at home, do not go outside unless it's very, very important. You never know what is waiting for you outside. There are a lot of asymptomatic people who are roaming around, so be very careful. But even if you're indoors, you take care of your skin, use a good sunscreen, have a good sleep. In fact, this is the best time to take care of your skin, because we always had excuses, doctor, I'm busy, I don't have time, such hectic hours. So now, in fact, God has given you time to look after your skin. A lot of times, your skin gives you a lot of hints. So take that hints, take care of your skin, have a healthy lifestyle, eat balanced food, do exercise at home. Also there are a lot of options where you can do exercise at home. Do exercise, apply your sunscreen, use a good cleanser, use a good night cream which contains all the ingredients which I've already mentioned, and take care of you. Thank you so much.